Oh, you're invited to the party, right? Because usually, yesterday Biggs did that. Okay, I accept. Okay. Yep. Sorry for that. Okay, okay, I will go on this channel and yeah, I had some training with Richie, and I think he filled my head with way too many ideas to my way of playing. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Oh, I got overwhelmed. I think I got overwhelmed. He sent me his battle ID, my opponent. Oh, you have it. Will this be casted in any stream? Oh, in what stream? Oh, your channel. Oh, yesterday the cast on your channel was another.
Oh, yesterday the cast on your channel was another.
Mm.
I don't think they're on StarCraft yet, is the problem.
Oh, right, yeah. You have open the StarCraft. Oh, now Bix is.
Oh, wow.
What happened?
Just can't spell.
Oh, what happened? Oh, you're putting music, right? Oh, you're putting
What's it
music.
going right now? Thanks, Morhook. I don't have mic on right yet because it doesn't make sense to, and I obviously have to change channels.
Wait, but your audio is going out on the channel. Wait, but
Yeah. So when we go into the match, I won't be talking with you. I'm going to leave voice. That way, I can cast the game without you hearing what I'm saying.
Oh, right. But I'll get out of this channel when the game starts.
No, you don't have
I'll
to.
get out of this channel when the game starts. So.
I have to move. But I have my mic muted for the tournament right now because we're discussing things. So
Gotcha.
we can talk about whatever, yada yada yada. and it won't impact what's going on.
Well,
And that's intentional.
Okay. Yesterday, I played a match against Koda. I think it was like yesterday. I played a match against Koda. He destroyed me completely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had good times. So yeah, I enjoyed it way too much. I think. I enjoyed it way too much.
I definitely don't have you muted. Oops. So channel heard everything you just said.
Oh, that was my intention.
No. It's
not that channel. That was my intention.
I'm saying on the as you talk, they can hear what you're saying. No, I didn't turn off the your voice through the channel. I just have mine muted. All right, sounds like we're gonna have. Oop. No, I want to leave all my whispers. You already chose heads. All right, so. F5. All right, we'll go ahead and change that. So I've been just told by the organizer we have. So we're going to do the heads, tails, flips. Game up as heads. This is for the game with Morhook and cin88x down here. This is the Underground Cup 5. As you can see, we're looking at the lower bracket currently. And then we will get into the game. I'm going to put it back onto a blank channel, but I just want to let you all know what was going on. And that's not what I wanted. No, we'll just leave it on that one. All right. Morhook, what region are you in?
I'm in Argentina. So it's like the Brazil server is the one that's not near.
So we're just waiting on the players to get organized and all that kind of stuff.
Got the package.
Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and put the... Where is it? Damn it. Sorry. And I need to change channels. Why is Discord being a pain? Oh, we already left. That works for me. Alrighty, here is the lower bracket with Morhook and cin88 playing against each other. We have our countdown going.
A veces
No additional supply depot. Command center completed. Remote field depleted.
Soltate, que te va a decir algo. Si hay preguntas, te dije yo un
Remote field depleted. Upgrade complete. Our SCVs are under attack.
Let's go.
Base is under attack. Our SCVs are under attack. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready. Bad news? What's going on? In the rear with the clear. SCV ready.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Yo, I'm going. SCV ready. Huh? SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. Huh? Gotcha. You're the boss. Gangway, coming.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Will do. This better be good.
Command center upgrade complete.
You want to be me, boy? Big job, huh? Yeah, I'm ready. Roger. What's going on? Quiet. SCV ready. SCV ready. Ah! SCV ready. I can't build here. Go ahead.
Add-on.
SCV ready. SCV ready. In the rear with armed and ready. Bad news?
Command center upgrade complete.
We hear you.
Add-on complete.
SCV ready.
Not enough. Not enough minerals.
Huh?
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not
SCV ready.
not enough minerals.
SCV ready. You want a piece of me?
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
What's that? Can do.
SCV ready. SCV ready. Armed and ready. Tempo.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Add-on complete. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Not enough minerals. Mineral field depleted.
This better be good. What's going on? Ready to go. SCV ready.
Ready for dust off.
Insufficient rescue gas.
Big job, huh? Ah, you scared me. What's that? SCV ready.
Insufficient rescue gas.
Armed and ready. What's going on? SCV ready.
Not enough. Research complete.
This better be good.
Ready for dust off.
SCV ready. Yep. Gateway coming. You gonna give me orders? Lay it off me.
Command center upgrade complete.
What's up? Big wing. By the numbers, boys. Armed and ready. This better be good. SCV ready.
Ready for dust off.
Additional supply depots.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Big job, huh? Bad news? Huh? Yeah, whatever.
Mineral field depleted. Add-on complete.
Ah, you scared me.
Not enough energy.
In the rear with the gear. Go, go, go. I can't build here.
Ready for dust off.
Additional supply depots required. Not enough energy. Additional supply depots required.
Bad SCV ready. Boy. SCV ready. SCV ready. Huh? Ah, you scared me. Uh-huh.
Mineral field. Not enough energy.
SCV ready. Gateway coming. Ready to go.
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready. In the rear with the gear.
Not enough minerals.
Hold the back here.
Research complete. Base is under attack.
Ah, you scared me. Up, ready to go. This better be good.
Additional supply depots required.
off.
Yeah, whatever. Better be good.
Upgrade complete. Unacceptable landing zone. Base is under attack. Our SCVs are under attack. Not enough energy.
Ready for dust off.
Not enough. Mineral field depleted. Our SCV not enough mineral attack. Not enough mineral. Base is under attack.
Been waiting on you.
Not enough minerals. Not enough energy. Not enough minerals. Our SCVs are not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Our SCVs are under attack.
Lay it on me. SCV ready.
Base is under attack. Not enough energy. Not enough.
SCV ready.
Our SCVs are under attack. Mineral field depleted. Not enough minerals.
Coming through. Ready.
Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
I'm so sad, yeah. It grasps me all the time.
There it is. So now I can do stuff like this. Nice. Okay. just an overwhelming amount of units to begin with, and then they'll do an expand. Book in blue. Sorry. And I need to change channels. Why is Discord being a pain? Oh, we already left. That works for me. Alrighty, here is the lower bracket with Morhook and cin88 playing against each other. We have our countdown going. We have in the red cin88 and blue is Morhook. We'll do a little bit better introductions once the matches actually begin. And this was Morhook's map choice, and due to server issues, we are on Brazil today. And it's part of Atlantis. Always takes a little bit of time for everybody to load in. I do not have a co-caster today. It'll just be me. And we're going to... this is going to be a rough load, I have a feeling. And we're going to go as far as we can. Then some breaks here and there, most likely. I might be playing 1v1s, 2 replays, something along those lines to fill time. Alright. In the lower right-hand corner, we have Cin in red. In the upper left-hand corner, we have Morhook in blue. So it's a TVT. I expect either an early gas or a barracks first for both players, one or the other. If they're going to be doing a gas first, they're going to be a little bit more aggressive. As you can see, they're actually mirroring each other. You can see up here in the production tab what's going on. And then down below, you can see what their armies, gas, minerals, all that kind of stuff looks like. And you can see they're just chugging along, doing what they can. It looks like both of them are going to open barracks first. And Cin is going to send out an early SCV, maybe to scout, maybe to continue to look. And Morhook goes gas, most likely looking for a Reaper opening. Cin's going to just see what's going on right here. We're going to follow our little SCV. It is a mirror matchup, so it's about who has the correct comp or the better army. I believe that Morhook is slightly to the advantage, but I might be mistaken. I'm not looking at MLR and all that kind of stuff, but we'll see how this all works out. If you pay attention to the minerals at the bottom there, you'll see that they're getting kind of close to that 400 mark. And that, right around that point is when they're going to get their first expansion. And you can see that they are still mirroring each other. Looks like gas is going to be off by just 1 or 2 ticks. You can see the minerals. Maybe they'll go a orbital, which most likely is going to happen, and additional Reapers to begin with. And then they'll do an expand. And you can see that we have an expand with Cin, with an orbital already on the way. And he decided to go with a reactor prior to a Reaper, while Cin decides to go with a Reaper first. The reason that both of these builds are safe is because the Reaper can defend and regenerate health and can out DPS 1 Marine, which means that the 2 Marines that will be produced by the barracks will be able to handle what the 1 Reaper if they're together. The downside is the Reaper, which is still hanging out at Morhook's side of the map, doesn't necessarily win if they're together, but he can run away after doing a little bit of damage. 1 or 2 shots and then keep going. Everything else pretty similar, nothing crazy. We do have additional barracks coming out from Cin here. He's grabbing them a little early, or rather, this is a 3 Rex opener versus a 1-1-1, which is most likely what we're seeing out of Morhook, who is now scouting. He's going to see that 3 Rex, most likely, but he might also be able to pick it out, noticing how many Marines there are. And you can see that he's now spread his Marines about. So let's see if Morhook gets a quick response, and he's going to lose that Reaper without being able to do much more than about half the health of 1 Marine, just a little less. So he doesn't know it's coming. And I like this build a lot. I personally do it every once in a while. Where you have, there should be stim coming up, combat shield coming up, and having 2 bases ready to go. It's great for Protoss, playing against Protoss players, and it's also pretty good against Terran because you have just an overwhelming amount of units. He still hasn't started STEM, which is kind of concerning. Getting an engineering bay a little early, about 30 seconds or so early, but I think that has to do with lack of gas on Sin's part. Morhook is just expanding, just doing normal things, is going up to 2-1-1. Already started with his 1-1-1. I have a feeling there'll be a reactor produced off of here, maybe a Viking, maybe again one or the other, depending on his personal preferences. It looks to me like we're going to, we went reactor first. Oh, he cancels it. Maybe he wants that Viking first. There it is. Kind of predicting things, right? Pretty good at this casting stuff sometimes. Morhook's getting tanks out, protect himself. Has a bunch of Marines ready to go. Has a couple of idle SCVs, showing some of their colors for their skill level. But that's okay. Nothing too bad with that. I make mistakes like that all the time. And then we have lapses in production of SCVs, which sometimes is intended, sometimes not, which that one did not look to be intended. We do have one with STEM in combat on the way. Tons of Marines, but no tanks to support it. No Liberators, no Vikings. No anything in the air. We do have a missile turret just to protect him on the backside. You could fly over a missile turret boosting and be A-OK, which is something that Morhook, I would imagine, knows. But Cin taking out that Reaper early on makes it so Morhook doesn't really know what's going on. There's a Marine coming out, just sort of kind of scouting about. They're just hitting each other, just a little hello to each other. And Cin is moving that 3 barracks worth of production across the map, continuing to not be supply blocked. While Morhook has got a little bit of a lighter army, but has a little bit more technical. The STEM in combat shield should be finishing up very shortly, and then you have 1-0 on its way very shortly as well after that, which you want to time your attack to hit right around that 1-0, or when both of those upgrades the combat shield and STEM finish. So you can see that they now have 55 health versus our opponent who has 45 health. Or Morhook's 45 and Cin's 55. And these Marines are just a huge count. And we have, they're still in range, and there's another tank that sieges up. So it's 3 tanks versus a bunch of Marines. And the fight's going okay for Morhook. He just took out almost all of it and evened up the supply. Worker count is still in Cin's favor because he was able to get several of Morhooks out of that natural and take some of that time off of mules and things, which is kind of rough. Oop. We have a couple of Marines still fighting, seeing what they can get done. And we have a bunch of Marines coming across the map. Looks like he wants to continue to keep that pressure on, especially with that 1-1. But having 2 medevacs, a couple of tanks, 3 tanks now, is going to make that pressure very, very challenging. I would suggest he goes home and protects himself. And as you can see, Morhook has a bunch of supply depots back here that were a little exposed and did a little bit of damage to the orbital, but nothing to make it burn or anything. But the longer we wait here, the more interesting this little fight, this little skirmish is going to go towards Morhook with the tanks ready to go. Lots of production, not currently going, but he is spending his money, so I think that's just the nature of getting attacked early on, losing a few workers. So his plan's a little off. Cin is starting to float a little bit of money, needs to start expanding or building more production or make sure he misses none of his production cycles. Nothing too bad, but an army out here making sure that he doesn't grab an early third for Morhook. Both players are amassing an army, with Cin having a little bit more supply, but definitely less technical at this point. Starting to get a couple of tanks in, and a couple of medevacs, and we'll see some other units of that type, maybe a Liberator or 2 coming along in a little bit. And Cin decides to scan Morhook, sees what he's up against, leaves his army still at the 3rd, and sees that there's a bunker not filled, a bunch of medevacs, and a handful of Marines, because when they did that fight, that Marine count went way, way down. A little oversaturation with our mineral lines in our main, and definite oversaturation in our natural, which tells me that they're ready for a third, but they're trying to figure out how they're going to do that. Because when you move those tanks, it is always a challenge, and Cin is just keeping him bottled up as he expands behind, grabbing most of the oversaturation for both of his bases to almost fully saturate instantly. And this, I heard a scan, but I didn't see where it went. Sorry about that. And you can see that there's still very high oversaturation. Mule's getting ready to pump some of those minerals down. They're going to start getting real low here, which is going to make it so that this is going to be even more highly saturated. But the build-up is common from both players. It's still a TVT, just a couple of mistakes, and usually the other person will walk across the map and kind of take it. And Cin has removed this standing army that was positioned at one of the optional thirds for Morhook. And Morhook has obviously gotten there. Still a little oversaturated in his natural, and definitely oversaturated in his main. Building a 4th CC inside to float it in. And we have a Marine fight where we have a 1-1 advantage for the red player Cin. And now they're fighting into tanks, which is going to make it really tough. But there is a lot of units here, so we'll see how deep he gets in there. And there are still tanks coming in from Cin. Supply difference is now about 40. Look, if you check the bottom here, you can see the army supply is quite significant. It does make a difference. And these tanks are starting to shell away at workers. Morhook is a little bit behind. Cin has got himself in a really good position. Might be able to do a ton of worker damage and deny this natural base. For Morhook, he does have a third that's out and about and safe. You should probably lift this up if you can help it. Nope, he ends up losing the building and clumps up his Marines on the ramp. The 1-1 making a huge difference with this fight. And now there's units streaming across the map, and I honestly don't know how Morhook is going to get out of this one. It's we're looking at a really rough spot just based off of the unit compositions, the location, and the fact that we're off by a base. And this game is not quite buttoned up, but I have a feeling that Morhook will be taking the L on this one. He has to do. He has to come out and break out, and I only see our red player here expanding with more production, still oversaturated, but has been growing nicely behind this attack. And there is a tank or so up top, just one. Fight's still going on. And as you can see, most of those workers just getting cleaned up. Medevacs all dying, and the front door being broken down. One tank and a handful of Marines is the dream, but against multiple tanks and much more, I don't know if this will be possible for Morhook to take back. You can see the lead is extending a little bit further, and the oversaturation will be fixed when he wipes them out. New production all wrong, and there's the game. Cin takes the match, or the first nap of the match, excuse me. So, Morhook map. And just so we can see a little bit of the score summary, you can see that the army value fell off. Resource collection rate was pretty okay most of the way. You have some upgrade spending that was obviously in Cin's advantage towards the beginning, and then the worker differential as the map changes out. And this is now on here. Glittering Ashes is our next map. We are still in Brazil, and that way we can put ourselves back on the tournament screen. So as of right now, we have an advantage of 1 victory for Cin, with Morhook being behind by 1. Both of these players are in the losers bracket, so they're fighting to not be eliminated. It is best of 3, and then we will get this going. I know that there's some movement and things I have to do. Hard for me to manage multiple screens at the same time. And they remain there red and blue, and there should be Where is it? No, infinite. There's some way to add in. There's an add-on when you start the match. Ladder matches. Map info. Ah, there it is. I need to add the add-on that allows me to do combat summary to the game. Alrighty. I see ready on both sides. We're going to go ahead and give it our counter. Nice little countdown. And here we go. And it was Sin that took the first match, our red player. We're doing Glittering Ashes on the standard map that comes from Blizzard. And that way we can play some. Or, well, have them play the rest of their match out. In the lower left-hand corner, we have Sin in the red trunks. In the upper right-hand corner, we have Morhook in blue. As of right now, we have not that. No. Well, that's supposed to be 1, not 10, so just understand that Sin is ahead by 1. I'm sorry that I don't have all of the actions and buttons ready to go on this. As you can see, we have our production up here yet again, so you can keep an eye on that. You can see the differential here. Because it is a mirror matchup, which you can see they're both Terran, you're going to see very similar builds, just like we did the previous game, with both players either having a divergence right around that point, and that's an interesting decision to not have another SCV. So there is a slight variation in build, with one SCV from Sin being a little bit ahead of Morhook this time. So as of right now, the advantage goes to Sin because of that slight itty-bitty mistake, not a big deal. And then he has positioned himself to immediately put down the reactor if he so desires. And then because of the way that the bases are always set up with these ramps, Blue's set up to have the reactor inside of his base or tech lab if he so desires. Nothing crazy, nothing too out of whack right yet. I have a feeling that we're going to have orbitals on both sides as soon as their barracks finish up, or as soon as the SCV that is there or the barrack finishes up that they do that. Sin is going to go and grab that natural very quickly, and that orbital is just going down. And then what we'll see most likely from Morhook is also, based off of that SCV, moving out another command center. And you can see that the... okay, that'll be a good one. Thank you, Biggs. Cool. We have a Marine built and a wall in for that SCV, so that differential of 1 worker will come from just hanging it out and getting that extra 1, but the income early on does make a big difference, and that Marine is just going to chase its little heart out trying to get it. And there's a little lag spike. We are playing on the Brazil server, so just fair warning on that. Does see that there is a couple of Marines and sees the command center. Decides to pull on back. I believe I can see his vision by pressing 1, so you can see he has the command center in sight, but Sin does not know. So that makes it kind of a little bit of, I don't know for certain, but in most cases that's going to be the build order that occurs in the game, and that's one of those kind of features that we're aware of. Morhook has decided to put up a supply depot near his front to wall off, but it makes them extremely exposed for tanks and early rushes, which you can see that we're having a 3 barracks push yet again. The, oh my goodness, stem is not started yet. There it is, there's a scan, now he knows what's coming. And this is yet again going to be one of those games where it's see who can get that tank up and ready to go, and have stem and combat shield and all those other things ready and rocking and rolling to protect them while they are making this early push. Morhook being a little bit more defensive this game, with making it so he's a little bit more exposed doing that as well, and has decided to put down a bunker very early on. Both players still playing very passively. This match up is either gonna. It has little deflecting fights early on, but usually not too much after that. We've got a starport tech lab with a siege tank coming out, and so there's again a tech advantage for Morhook and a production advantage or units available advantage for Sin. Based off of what we're seeing here, Sin is trying to grow his marine crown as hard as he can. You see the little cleaning bot running around with an engineering base, so we're going to get that +1 attack going as well as finishing up a lot later than our combat shield and stem, because those are very long production features. I don't have any way to tell you which ones those are because unfortunately I don't have a cheat sheet. And then at about 4:30 he's going to go ahead and push across the map. Yet again, the build that Sin is utilizing is very effective against Protoss. They struggle quite a bit against the early push of Marines because they don't have that splash damage rearing and ready to go. And a lot of players struggle to handle that. We have stem on the way from Morhook, a couple of exposed depots, a siege tank on the high ground, bunker, and a bunch of Marines down below to make it so that he can survive this little push, or at least attempt to. From last game, what happened was these were actually not here. They were placed way back here like they are now. And the siege tank was a little bit more exposed than this is. These Marines are coming in trying to get that siege tank down as early and quickly as possible. Does go down, but they ended up running into the bunker, and now there's a little scuffle still. Slight advantage to our red player because, yet again, he has stem and combat shield, which is very important. Those upgrades make it very challenging. But he doesn't have any tech, so as long as Morhook is able to push off his opponent, he should be able to stabilize and make this a very long match versus an early push out. Sin has gotten his third command center on the way, and we have Morhook who's almost done with this third command center. I have a feeling that's going to stay in his base for a little while, just simply based off of the fact, there's a bunch of Marines that finished out that supply depot attempting to do a supply block. But I have a feeling he's going to stay in the base because he's got so much pressure. Continuing to increase. Ooh, interesting, a missile turret over here. That's an interesting adjustment Sin has done in his build. As you can see, he's also redistributing his workers now that he is able to stabilize a little bit and get a couple of tanks ready to go. So, because of the way that unit pathing functions in StarCraft, when you get attacked, if your units are not on hold position, what they will do is they will try and engage that enemy. Not a bad thing, unless it's into tanks or lurkers or other siege vehicles that can do a lot of harm against you. +1 armor on the way. Armory to make it so you get +2 attack. No upgrades for the weapons and armor for Sin. For Morhook. Is I able to identify that missile turret and clean it up. And now we have a 3-base to soon-to-be 3-base game. Both players are playing well. They made slight tweaks to their builds, and both players are able to handle what was going on currently. And they are being a little bit better about their oversaturation, keeping production going and rolling. And money is a little high, but at this point in the game, sometime, if you're not on that upper echelon of player, that tends to occur a little bit. And as you can see, a lot of those workers have now been transferred over, built up, ready to go, and more production on the way. There's the upgrades that I was talking about a little bit earlier, and it looks like Morhook has decided to just not do any upgrades for a little while. There's no engineering bay on the way. There's 4 barracks, a lot of SCVs, which we all expect to have happen throughout until around 70, 80 workers in that area, maybe 85. Siege tanks continuously under production. Again, we're looking at low tech from Sin. We don't have too many production facilities for that higher vehicle option. But we do have several tanks available. I think it's like 4 or 5. He's dismounting. He's not dismounting them, unsieging them, and he's starting to move them across the map so that way he can try and deny a base, maybe do some damage, take out some production or something along the lines. So we have the army here moved into the middle. This smoke is irrelevant because we got flying units, so something to be aware of on the map. There are different features that have this. And then we have, ooh, it looks like a 4th command center on location on the way. And we have a couple of vision towers. These are called sensor towers, and what they do is when something enters this little ring in the mini-map, you can see down here on the left, there's a little red icon for each player, or for the player that has the tower. The other player, your opponent, knows that they can be seen. They have a little the little white symbol we can see on the mini-map. So you can see from their perspective, okay, he definitely has 3 bases, and you have a good idea. And then he has no idea if 4th is up. He does know that that 4th is coming. The scan kind of tipping off our opponent here. Kind of bringing in tanks, a little piecemeal, which is fine, no big deals. It does cancel that exposed 4th. His tanks are very exposed. If he jumps on this, he could probably get 3 of these without too much hassle. And then he has, yeah, we'll see. This is a very curious situation for Morhook. And then, of course, there's more units on the Y to protect what's going on. 1 Liberator would force the engagement, would make this very challenging for the red player to maintain, especially since he has the higher tech. And as we talked about, if you don't put your units on hold position, they can sprint on in and just detect things whenever they are engaged. So there was a lot of Marines that were just taking damage for very little effectiveness, just obviously taking out a bunch of tanks. But it's challenging. Uh-oh. And Morhook did not manage his army quite well. He decided to run off, and there's another set of army. Oh no, medevacs went to one side, the Marines went to the other. And now we have another group coming, but that's a tank sieged up. And we have mass repair going down. This little secondary attack is going to be cleaned up. Nothing going on the other side. But there is Marine still marching into the middle of the map, and he's resaturating and spreading out everything as best he can. Misses 1, but that's not too bad, not a big deal. We do have a bunch of Marines, medevacs, siege tanks all ready to go, and he's got them boxed in on the other side with 4 different tanks, positions quite spread out quite well. Again, 1 Liberator, and this entire position is eliminated. So just something to be aware of if you decide to play Terran. And this is hopefully going to be canceled. And I have a feeling, nope, it was not canceled. That is a full loss. And this Widow Mine, I think, was a misclick. Needs to be burrowed, or it will go down with 0 kills. And this base is now under very deep threat with mass repair, barely keeping it alive. Oh my goodness, those so many workers just going down, and this is very rough for Morhook to deal with. The tank does give him a very big advantage with regards to this fight, but the army is just going to keep streaming across. He's going to continue to get more and more, and additional tanks and things of that nature. So it's not the best of positions for our red player, but it does. He F2s into the debris versus fighting the enemy. Brings a couple of stuff and loses all the SCVs, and does not gain the best advantage with his mules. Does have his upgrades going though. Continues. He's leaving his. He's leaving his orbital command very exposed while trying to get some more tanks up. Repositioning of tanks takes out a supply depot over here. I know that there's more going on the map than just this little interaction, and the tank is exposed and he takes it out. And Morhook has left his command center to die, and he still has his units rallied. Walks his tanks out into the open. Is really getting choked in here. As you can see, he has another command center off to the side. Just moves that Marine in just a little bit and it won't die. Could have gotten that tank maybe. It's hard to say, but 19 health tank is still a tank that's alive. And Sin is continuing to put on the pressure. He is up 1-2 or 1-0 in this best of 3. All he has to do is get one more. He does scans, finds that extra base, and the SCV still kind of streaming across in ways that get him killed, losing things here piecemeal, unfortunately. Orbital going up, but it will not have time to finish. That is a very long construction time. So he needs to cancel and lift that and repair as he moves back. Looks like we're going to be boxed in and slowly choked out as Sin continues to expand and grow. He's got a supply of a 181 now, army differential of 70 or so. This is not the position you want to be as Morhook, but he did much better this time around. The game is going well for Sin, and Morhook has a little bit heavy on gas and doesn't necessarily have the there it is, Marines to support what was going on. And there's a GG call for Morhook. And we will now have our victor, Sin, going into the next round. And so, Morhook is going to be eliminated. Sin is going to be playing against LCE Mako. I don't know who our next match is going to be. I'm going to see if I can make this a scene for everybody to just see. So if you'll give me just a moment, I want a specific media source. Not display. Window. Yeah. There it is.
I'm really angry. I lost it. Yeah.
So now I can do stuff like this. Nice. Okay. Polo, so we don't have to do a coin flip. We're going to have Barrel choose all of the maps for all of them for the entire time. Going to run into that problem. Oh, so painful for him. Might lose the War Prism. Does not. Now we have ourselves a situation where we have an Immortal and many Zealots. And this is keeping our Protoss player in green in a very rough spot where they have to defend themselves and be aware. Getting ready to expand once they have the money. But these Ferris Stalkers now denied are probably going to deny this extra front from being attacked. Ooh, double Immortal drop. And now he's going to drop in a whole bunch. He's doing an elevator.
Right back.
It's going to be a lot of roughness. This is not the best position to be in for our green player. Bunch of charged Zealots against our lovely Immortals and Immortals with... Oh man, I can't even call this fight. Look at that. This is so close. We have Para-Immortals that are pounding away, destroying everything they can. Couple 4 Zealots. No anti-air whatsoever. Gets rid of all of the Stalkers and goes trying to get down to that low ground. Gets a recall out, just trying to make it so he does not lose those very valuable Immortals. Does quite a lot of damage, but didn't actually do anything that's going to prevent his opponent from doing continuing to play. There is another run by. There's 15, 16, 17. 18 workers that went down for that little sneaky set of zealots. And it looks like we even have more coming through as the transfer occurred. And it looks like the worker difference has been stabilized. And the only issue is that Burl is just oversaturated in regards to his workers. But at this point, there's a GG called with a blink forward to take it out. Good game.
Sorry for that.
We're working on picking the map and setting up the next one, so it'll be another minute before we get there. But both players are still talking about the previous match. Nothing too crazy going on. Just kind of enjoying themselves. I'm actually going to change the music. That way we don't lose anything during our recording. So. We are just about to start into game number 2 of Marky, Polo, and Burl.
Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Like I didn't. I'll go and have something to eat now for real because before I didn't do it. Right, thanks for passing by to my channel. Oh, let me do this.
Thank you for the raid, Morhook. Alrighty, Burl took game number 1. I know that it says 10 right there. I don't remember the command to make it only 1. In the bottom left-hand corner in purple is Burl, who just took 1 match off of our green opponent, who is in the upper right-hand corner, Marky or Monkey Polo. Both players deciding to do a low ground expand as well, making it so.
Hopefully,
But of course, Morhook. Both players are out here doing some crazy stuff. Burl did a proxy last time, did something very similar to what's occurring right now. Both players are mirroring each other, aside from one probe is going to scout, and one probe, it looks like, is going to go do something a little sneaky off to the side again. And there's the sneakiness with that pylon. We'll see if he just goes straight on and scouts and see what's going on this time. Decides to attempt the block, is prevented by the probes. You can, for those of you that have not played a lot of StarCraft, you just sort of kind of learning. If you place a worker inside of the little circle you see here, and you put them on hold command, they will not move, even when your opponent attempts to build something in that location. If you just move them there, what will happen is your opponent will place down their building, and the AI will tell the worker to go away. A little kisses back and forth with our probies, little shocks of fun here and there, as we have the scout on one side of the map returning, and one still kind of getting information and seeing